and welcome to another review from Colour with Claire. Today we are looking at the new book from Jennifer Zimmermann. This is The Secrets of Colouring 2 and it's the follow-up to her 2017 release, The Secrets of Colouring. It contains lots and lots of tips, tricks and tutorials for you to upgrade your colouring skills and make your coloured pages even more fantastic. So all of them are different to what was in the first book, so don't worry about getting any recycled content. They're all completely brand new tutorials. And we'll just go through the book and see what we have. So the first kind of page is just the acknowledgements and the copyright information. We've then got a foreword from Jennifer herself, just talking about the content of the book and things like that. Then we've got all of Jennifer's social media links. So if you want to go ahead and follow her on Instagram, Pinterest, whatever, you can use any of these links to go and find her. We've then got the contents, so we've got all the different chapters in the book and then the subheadings of the tutorials in those chapters. We've then got a double page spread of information about getting started, so telling you about different colouring supplies and things that Jennifer has come up with since the last book, so different types of blenders, the different kinds of markers that she's discovered since last time, and how you can take basic or budget markers and use them as replacements for things like Copic or the very expensive markers. Then we've got the newest trends, so she's talking about a lot of people in the colouring community at the moment are really into making everything glow, and why not? It's absolutely beautiful if you can do that. So a lot of things in this book focus on that kind of glowing background technique. And the next couple of pages, this is hacks, so colouring hacks to save you time, stress and money. So talking about broken pencils and how you can fix them, talking about how to not smear your work if you're colouring and your pencil dust is making smears. There's like tips and tricks, and then all about paper as well. Here we've got some information about pencils, so talking about why we have very high quality pencils that cost a lot of money, and then we have the basic pencils, the differences between them, and things like blendability, cost, the vibrancy, the wax or oil binder that they're contained, and then all different coloured pencil brands that you can exchange the expensive ones for in this book. So Black Widow, Marco Raffine, Ganghui, I don't know how you say that, the Lyra Rembrandt. So cheaper kind of alternatives that if you don't have the luminance or the polychromos or whatever it is in the book, you can actually swap them out, for different more budget alternatives. And there is a chart in the back of this book which shows you your nearest colour. So say for example you have a Prismacolor that's in the book but you don't have Prismas, you only have Marco Raffine, there will be a alternative colour that you can use at the back, so I'll show you that when we get there. This chapter focuses on the principles of art, so it's basically a glossary of terms. We've got shape and form, value, texture, movement, pattern, proportion, scale, emphasis, contrast, and it's just telling you a bit about what each one means and how you apply it in your art. We've got chapter 5, which is simple background solutions and colour swaps. So this is just telling you about the budget materials. I have read this, but it's just trying to get my head around all this information. Talking about things that you can use that are inexpensive and easy to get hold of, substitute items. So we begin on the actual tutorials themselves. We have the first one, which is a rich black background and starry sky. So it's telling you how to create that very smooth, flat black background. If you want to block your backgrounds out with black, and then adding some stars just with white gel pen and pencil. And there's a lot of kind of did you know and little tips and tricks that are interspersed with the tutorials throughout. This one is beautiful. It's a radiant circle backdrop, and you can see that those often colouring books, especially Johanna Basford and lots of different books, have these circular kind of contained spherical illustrations just like this. And this can be applied to any of those illustrations, and it's just showing you how to create this kind of glowing orb sort of background here. And as I say, you can apply it to any kind of circular image that you've got in your colouring books. And just to go through the actual format of the tutorial, you can see here that we have the finished product. We then start from step 1, and it's every single step in picture form and explained with a caption as well. We've then got the green haze background. So this says it's a neat little trick for creating a glowing haze background around a frame or object. So anything you've got on your page, anything at all, whether it's just one element of the page or whether it's the whole kind of frame or anything that you want to create a glow around, this will help you to do that. So for this illustration in particular, you can see that she's created this green haze. And it also tells you at the top of every illustration, every tutorial, exactly what you will need. So it does tell you the numbers of the pencils, or the numbers of the pens, or the names of the pigment, you know, whether it's Copic, light prawn or something like that. So it does tell you exactly what she's used. But again, you can go to the back of the book, look in the chart, and make substitutes for whatever colouring materials you have. This one here, you can see that she's Jennifer's put that she used 2 different Touch New markers, which are the cheaper alcohol markers that you often find on places like Wish and AliExpress. She used 28 Fruit Pink and 9 Pale Pink, but she's then said you can use Copic Sketch R20 and R22, or Prismacolor Premier markers in 133 and 010, or, you know, she's giving you different alternatives right there that you can use. So don't think if you haven't got Copics or you haven't got Prismas that you won't be able to do these tutorials, because Jennifer's really thought ahead and taken that into account. So this one here is actually one that I have practiced myself, which you'll see over here now. And I thought it was a brilliant tutorial, actually. It's quite difficult to get that kind of sunburst of rays coming out from an object in your colouring, or at least I thought it was, and it's not something that I've ever really tried. I think I might have taken a battery operated eraser and tried to do it, but it just didn't have the same kind of effect. But as you can see, I've managed to create it really simply and really beautifully, actually. And then this is actually a 2-part tutorial. So you've got the sunburst ray tutorial, which starts here and then you go around up to step 6, or you can start with step 1 again but come down here and create this smoky starburst tutorial. So it gives you kind of a 2-in-1 option there. We've then got a smoky bokeh coloured pencil background, and this is a special guest tutorial, one of a few in this book, by Lillicence, not sure, but you can find her on Instagram if you just type in her name. And it's really nice to have colourists involved in a project of this kind. You don't usually see these kind of books involve different colourists putting their techniques and skills into the mix as well, so that's really good. So obviously this is a bokeh tutorial and it takes you step by step. You've got your numbered steps here as well, and of course you will need, so it tells you exactly the pencil numbers and things here. We've then got colour scheme swaps. So it says use any of the previous suggestions for backgrounds, just swap colours. She's frequently asked to give examples of scheme swatches, but these aren't actual colour scheme types, just the best descriptions to explain her ideas. So it's up to you what kind of mood or theme you're going for. So you can see here we've got puffy clouds, we've got bokeh, warm foreground and cool background. We've got hand-drawn jungle, and we've got the radiant circle that we saw earlier, but with different colours on the actual birds and the leaves and things like that. So all of these are polychromos numbers, which it tells you up here. And then you'll also need a white luminance. Now, even if you don't have luminance pencils, I would really recommend that you get yourself a white and also a buff titanium luminance pencils, because they're absolutely fantastic. They're very opaque and they're just fantastic. They're the best white pencil. So we've got all of those different colour schemes here for trying the different types of background. We've then got chapter 6, dynamic varieties of light and shadow, and how we use light to create different effects. So it's showing you where you would put your shadow, where you would put your highlights and your shadows on different objects, and your drop shadow, your cast shadow on the table or whatever, you know, you want to try and make it look 3D. So that's what this does, and it just explains all of that. Here you can see that there are different kinds of lighting that you can create. So you've got direct lighting where the light is straight onto the subject, straight onto the mushroom. You've got a diffused or ambient lighting, which looks like an overcast kind of day. So the sun's not shining directly on it. It's kind of just a normal day's lighting, cloudy sky. Then you've got backlit or silhouette. So you can see the lights coming from behind the mushroom and all the darkness and shadow is on the front. And that creates a kind of glowy look. But again, then you've got a proper real neon glowing look here, and how you can, it just almost sort of vibrates with colour. So it tells you here about investigating light, transparent, translucent, opaque and surface textures. So just a little bit about that. Obviously when you get the book, if you do buy the book, you can read all of this, you know, very, very in depth. Next tutorial is candy. So this is all about chocolate, this one. This is a milk chocolate Easter bunny. And you can obviously use this chocolate technique on any of your candy kind of books, whether you've got a box of chocolates or what have you. It just tells you how to create that beautiful sort of kind of shiny chocolate look, very glossy. So again, step by step, it does say that you will need for this particular one, Prismacolor Premier and these numbers here, a colourless blender pencil and a white Posca pen. But again, you can always change those colours out with the chart at the back. So this is a 13-step tutorial. So there's quite a few different steps to do on this one. And another thing that Jennifer's kind of brought into the mix this time around is using mixed media. So for example, you can see here that she's starting off with a marker and then adding pencil over the top for all the details and the refinements. And that does a couple of things. It can save your pencil. So instead of using lots of hard pressure and pigment to create all the different kind of dynamics of the shape, you start off with a marker base, and that kind of just gets rid of all of your tooth and the white bits that are in the paper, so you don't have to be digging your pencils and things to get that really flat burnished look. We've then got the pink foil Easter egg, which is another one that I tested, and for this you can see that it's a 8-part tutorial, and actually it was really, really simple and fun to do. I really liked how it came out. Obviously I need a little bit more practice, but that was my first go and I think I did okay. You can see here that we've got a red, white and gold shimmery candy cane, and this looks absolutely gorgeous. This is pearlescent, so it tells you here as well. For example, the Easter egg was reflective and this is pearlescent or pearlized. So I think it's really kind of awesome to be able to find out how to do the finish on things as well, whether it's a candy cane you're colouring or not. If you can figure out how to get that pearlized look or that reflective look, you can apply that to different kind of objects and different colouring pages. So this one, 15-part tutorial, absolutely stunning. Then we've got the pearlized white and blue spiral lollipop. So again, another quite a long tutorial here, but you're getting that look of 3-dimension and depth. Here we've got a purple heart lollipop, which looks really glassy and almost transparent. And I think it's awesome how that has been created with just a few steps and all pencil, I think. I think there's a bit of gel pen involved, but all pencil apart from that. And yeah, as you can see, it just looks really, it almost looks like you could see through it a little bit if you looked. We've then got tiny holiday candy, so candy corn and a candy heart. If you're doing kind of Halloween illustrations or you know, sweeties or anything like that, this is fantastic. So here you can see that we've got a matte tutorial here. So whereas this was transparent and shiny, this is opaque and matte, so it's completely the opposite. It's solid, you can't see through it, and it doesn't have a gloss or a sheen to it. So again, it's learning how to do those different surface textures and then applying them to different coloured pencil pages, colouring pages, sorry. We've then got the fluorescent gummy bear, which is satin and translucent. So again, it looks very kind of glassy, looks like you could kind of see through it, a bit transparent, but also it's got a kind of satin look to it as well. And again, it's just learning these techniques of how to do things and applying them elsewhere. She's also given you a little bit of a swatch here to try it in a different flavour. So you can do it with greens, and all the greens are here. Then we've got fabrics. So this is shoes. Now we start off with a patent leather boot. You can see here that we have markers and pencils to create the leather look of the boot. We then have the cowboy boot, which looks a little bit less glossy, a little bit more leathery. So patent leather is generally more shiny and leather is obviously a bit more matte. So both of those different surface textures have been shown here. Again, we've got a different kind of boot texture. This is the suede boot, so another completely kind of matte look. Nothing glossy about that. It looks like scrunched fabric. And you even get little ideas of how to do the motions, so how to hold your pencil, how to lay your strokes down. In chapter 8, we've got some holiday cheer. So we're back to that illustration here with the gift box that we used the sunburst background on, telling you how to do metallic gift bows. So this is obviously going to be a fantastic for all those Christmas colouring books that you have. Then we've got the box itself, so how to do this kind of matte gift box. We've then got a gingerbread man, so we're into that kind of holiday festive period here, and the gingerbread man is fantastic because it is showing you how to create that biscuit kind of texture. You can see all the kind of little dapples and imperfections in the biscuit. Also, you've got the candy details, so the little buttons. We've then got holiday ornaments, so we've got silver baubles, and it tells you exactly the steps to do for each kind of bit of the tutorial, as always. But what I'm trying to say is, here it says you've got to map out this first bit, then it says do the between, then it says the centre, then blend dark. And the reason I'm reading all this out is because you'll see here that Jennifer has put some different colours alongside it. So if you didn't want to do a silver one, if you wanted to do a gold one, you would just see that the first step is the map out step, and you would use 918, which is an orange. So you would map it out with your orange. Then the next step is the between, which is this one here, and the centre here. So it's using the exact same technique but the different colours that she's given you, which is really, really helpful, because not everybody wants to colour the bauble in exactly the same colour. You've got a few different options here, and then you can kind of create your own once you're comfortable with it. And we've got some practice baubles here on the page for you to go straight in and practice. So chapter 9 is adding shimmer and pizzazz. So again, more mixed media kind of ideas. We've got iridescent glitter to do the edges of your baubles and give them that kind of look of sparkle and shine. We've then got another special guest tutorial here, and this shows you that beautiful technique of creating a sparkly fabric overlay, which I've seen quite a few times and I've always been really envious of because I've had no idea how to do it. But this is step by step here. It tells you exactly what to do. First of all, you colour it as you normally would. So maybe you would have left it like this, absolutely beautiful anyway. But then you wanted to add the kind of sparkly look without putting glitter physically on it. You wanted to create that look with colouring materials, and that's how you do it. This one is portrait tips. So this is eyes and skin tones of the world. So telling you exactly how to colour eyes. We've got a dark brown eye. We've got a baby blue eye, a gold green eye, and again, all of the different colours are swatched underneath, and we've got a little practice area here. We've even got a did you know bit about irises of the eye, so it's telling you that they're transparent and light passes through them, so it's kind of how to create that look of realism. We've then got skin tones of the world, so it starts off with a cool tone. We've then got a neutral tone, then a warm tone. So instead of giving you the swatches of the colours for all the different tones, these have actually all been done in their own step-by-step tutorials, which is really, really helpful when it comes to faces, because often it's kind of hard to apply different colour palettes to faces and knowing where each one goes. We've then got another warm tone for you, so slightly darker, and then we go on to the more fantasy kind of skin tone. So this is glowing and theatrical skin tone, and it shows you how to create that sort of very mysterious kind of fantasy look. Grayscale colouring. So this is for those of you who are interested in the grayscale colouring books, and it shows you how to create a vibrant image from a grayscale book. So you can see that this mushroom here we saw earlier was actually in a grayscale book, and it doesn't look like it at all, does it? So it tells you the tips and tricks about that as well. And then we've got the whole mushroom glowing tutorial here. Then we have the Bird of Paradise flower, and this one is using markers and pencils and a white gel pen. Again, you can switch out the colours for whatever you've got, whatever sets you've got. And it shows you how to do not only the flower, but the leaves as well. Tells you a little bit about gel pens and how you can use those to the best advantage. We've then got the lovely Lunar and Smoky Night effect. So Luna the butterfly, it shows you how to colour this first of all, so you can apply that again to any butterfly. And then it tells you how to create the smoky kind of look in the background you can see here. This is the beautiful Better Fish, and this is done with Prismacolors, Posca and a white gel pen. And you can see that first of all she has shown you how to do the scales, again applicable to all different kinds of fish in your colouring books, and then the black background as well. A dragonfly here, so splitting up the wings into different sections and showing you how to create that very glassy transparent look. We've also got a beautiful lotus flower, very, very vivid colours there. This is how to do that lotus flower step by step, and also how to create the water droplets on the flower as well. This is the bottom part of the flower, the sepals or the sepals, showing you how to finish that off. I adore these colours together. This is kind of a very bright, is it true green? I think it's, yeah, it's true green. And it's just, I love green and pink together. They're one of my favourite combos. So chapter 11 is your colouring pages. So here we go. These are the pages that you practice all of your techniques on that you've learned so far. As you can see, this is the egg that I did. Now these have been printed on toned tan paper. It's not genuine toned tan paper, obviously. It is all Amazon CreateSpace published, so you know the type of paper. It's quite thin, but it's been given this background of a toned tan paper. So Jennifer does say earlier on in the book that it's always recommended to print out these colouring pages on your own paper, because the Amazon CreateSpace paper can change how your pencils and media works. So it might not be as good, kind of as flat and smooth as you see Jennifer do, and you're wondering why it's not the same. It's probably because she's been using real paper, and this is just your Amazon CreateSpace stock, so that's kind of a recommendation. So we've got everything that you've seen so far in the book. We've got some toned tan and we've got some white. You can see that's the Radiant Circle one from the very start of the book. We've got the lady with the sparkly sleeves that was done in that guest tutorial. Again, we've got the rabbit and the sweets and things like that, the chocolate on toned tan paper. We've got the leather boots on white paper. Here we've got some faces for you to practice skin tones on, and these faces are taken from Jennifer's colouring book, Bella Futura. We've got a dark blue backgrounded page here for that glowing fantasy skin tone that you saw earlier. We've got the grayscale mushroom. We've got the Bird of Paradise. Was it Bird of Paradise or Flower of Paradise? Something like that. We've got the dragonfly and the lotus and the fish. And again, this is framed, so you can practice those starburst or glowing backgrounds on that if you wanted to. We've also got the smoky butterfly. And this is the one that I did earlier that you've seen, the starburst and the drop shadows around the bottom. Haven't finished this yet, but I will get on to doing that. It's my bleeder paper, just in case the markers went through. We've got the gingerbread man and the candy canes. Oh, before I flip over, this is a code that you will get in your colouring book. I've covered this for reasons. When you get your colouring book, you will have your code. You can go onto Jennifer's website, moderncolouring.com/freebies, and you'll click on the button which says Secrets of Colouring to Purchasers. You will then put in your code and you will get more practice pages, a colour swatch organiser, and a exclusive YouTube link for purchasers only. So these are the charts that I've been telling you about all the way through, and it's showing you here that all of the Prismacolor colours are on the top. So you can see in this box, they're all Prismacolor numbers. And then as you come down the chart, we've got nearest matches for Black Widow, Colleen, Spierfarben, Castle, Marco Ruffin. I think that's it, isn't it? Yeah. So you can use this to change over, you know, convert your colours if you don't have Prismas. I also have a Prismacolor to Polychromos conversion chart, which I'll leave a link for in the description in case you're using polys. I know that Jennifer couldn't fit the polys on here, but you can always use my chart if you wish to. And then again, on the bottom, we have more Prismacolors and more conversions. Another table here with the earthy tones. And then at the back, we have a little bit of a signature page that you would read and sign. Now this, it seems like a bit much, but actually it has got a function other than you just signing it and putting the book on your shelf. Now, if you wanted to go to your local print shop, your copy shop, your library, and you wanted to get extras of these, so you wanted to take these out, photocopy them, print some extras, Jennifer's given permission for you to copy 10 pages from the book. Now, it's not just permission for you, it's in order for you to take this to your copy shop and say, look, you can see here that the author and artist of this book has given her express permission for me to copy these pages, because a lot of these places, libraries, copy shops, they are a little bit nervous about printing extra things from books for obvious reasons. So this is basically for them to show that Jennifer has given permission to do that. Then on the back, we've got a resource guide. So all of the different mediums Jennifer's used, you can go and find them all over the internet. And that, my lovelies, is the end of the book. So I really hope that you've enjoyed looking through this fantastic resource. I absolutely loved Jennifer's first book, Secrets of Colouring. This one is just a fantastic addition, and they both contain, you know, tons and tons and tons of different tutorials and how to do skin and iridescence and metals and pearls and all kinds of things. So I really recommend both books. You'll find the links to purchase them in the description below. This is out now, so you can go and get your copy right now, and please do let me know in the comments what you think of it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon on Colour with Claire.